We grabbed a map, bought Nyla a new autograph book, set out on our mission. To get as many pictures and autographs as possible, there will be no rides, no food, minimal bathroom breaks, and just hunting for characters.
The story 8th grader Derek Davis told of his little sister's dream trip to Disney World was no ordinary essay. As one of over 500 entrants in the county's Write-A-Book contest this year, Derek not only wrote the story, but illustrated it with photos, designed a cover, and bypassing the publisher, bound it with glue sticks and colorful tape. And even if his book doesn't win a medal at the awards ceremony in May, Derek has already earned something far more precious: the eternal admiration of his sister, the Princess Nyla.
I hope your sister appreciates it because it's one of the nicest gifts you could give her.
I loved it when I told her about that. She often wrote a story about her. When she said it was really good and I got an A, she was so happy and excited, jumping up and down.
Celebrating its 40th anniversary, Prince George's own Write-A-Book competition continues to give budding journalists from pre-K to 12 a chance to demonstrate, in categories that range from illustrated fiction to poetry, that they have stories to tell that are creative, poignant, and often very personal.
As I held my mother's hand on the mountain, I tugged, yelling, "We did it!" But I tugged nothing but air, because her invisibility cloak still clung to her soul. "When will I get to see you again, under the invisibility cloak?" I asked. "Soon, but not now," she whispered, and she was gone. It's about how my mother is really important to me, and how if I thought about losing her, how my life would be really different and how much I would really miss her. So it's about how kids, how they're losing their mothers these days and they don't have anyone to come to or anyone to cherish like I do.
What does Write-A-Book do for our young people?
I think it gives them the opportunity to write truly creatively. It's not a class assignment. It's not you will write a narrative and you will write it about when you were in 4th grade. It's truly their own choice of genre as well as topic, and I think they really enjoy that, and they can be very creative.
It gives them a voice where those that are afraid to speak up for anything else, they can write it in their words, and those who you would never even know are poets. And their words really come to life on page, and you really just don't even know that these kids have it in them. And I just hope more people participate in it because it's an awesome program.
So, word for word, Write-A-Book is arguably a lesson in literacy unlike any other. For while Nancy and Derek and the other entrants this year will be eligible for local awards, the real prize will be an enduring love of the written word that can lead to publication, suggest a career, and even bring a bit of fame, as it did to the late Maddie Stepanek, the courageous Heart Songs author whose books, including his Write-A-Book entry, led to a friendship with Oprah and a spot atop the New York Times bestseller list.
He decided from that first book that what he wanted to do was get it published and keep writing more and more and have a message of hope and peace in every book, no matter how dark some of the poetry might get because of the things he's dealt with in his life. He still wanted to show no matter what you face, you can still play after the storms, have hope, have peace, have a future. And he's been writing books ever since, writing poetry, and all of a sudden he's on the New York Times bestseller list. And one of the books is literally a photocopy of what he did in kindergarten.
For Lindsay Parambo, now 24 and working in publishing as an acquisitions editor, her Write-A-Book entries, penned back in the 1990s, are still prized possessions. From a book on blue crabs that she wrote and illustrated in the 2nd grade at Rockledge Elementary, to a collection of poems, including one on the fear of the number 13 that she wrote at Tasker Middle, Lindsay's early talents are obvious. And she credits the Write-A-Book opportunity both for her coming of age and her choice of careers.
What do you like to write about, other than fearful numbers?
I think, well, that was from my entry in 8th grade, so I think triskaidekaphobia, that was a lot of, growing up anxiety and, about hitting the age of 13 and being a teenager and going from elementary school to middle school and in that kind of transition period. And I think that's, anything that I still write today is still kind of on that personal level. I think that growing up, I was a very quiet kid, and Write-A-Book was really a way for me to I figured out that I could put things together on paper a lot more easily than I could maybe say things out loud. I think that the line between write a book and what I'm doing now is a pretty direct one, actually. I mean, the thrill of discovery at writing a book and going through the process of learning about what you're writing and coming up with this story, and then, you know, the satisfaction at putting that all together and seeing that book come together and then actually holding it when you're done with it. You know, those are feelings and thrills that I still get at my job today.
Today's students write for the same reasons that Lindsay and Maddie did and experience the same exhilaration at sharing their thoughts on paper with the world.
Why do you like to write?
It just makes me find my inner self. I like adventure. So the challenging part was mainly putting all my ideas in my head onto paper, but once I finally had it with a little help from my mom and dad, I thought it turned out really great.
Some of those books are so great that the young authors are learning to leave their readers, including the judges, wanting more.
Our high school books, if you win first place, are published, and I typed them. So I have to read them as I type them. And there was one book that stood out to me, and it was called House of Flies. And it was very well written, and it was actually a trilogy. And unfortunately, the student was in 12th grade, so I won't get to read book 2 or 3, but I was dying to read book 2 and 3 to see what happened at the end.
For Channels 96 and 38, this is Dave Zera.